Well, hello YouTube, and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Well, we are still working on our paper pumpkin kit, at least I am, for January 2023's paper pumpkin called Key to My Heart. This is alternative video number 7, and it is a shaker card, and as I say that, I need to get my shaker stuff out so I don't forget them. So shall I show you? I don't have an exact sample, but I'm going to show you kind of what we're going to do here in a second. First of all, I kind of think this is repetitive, but for those who are new and may not have seen it, this is the instruction flyer / sheet for paper pumpkin. All of the paper pumpkins come with this great trifold instruction sheet with step-by-step instructions. Okay, so y'all know I haven't done any of these projects because I like doing my own thing. This was the add-on for these little heart-shaped boxes, which in video number 6 I showed you one of those. I didn't show you how to put it together, and I just showed you the measurements of it. Then I showed you in video number 6 the 2 dies that were the add-on for February's paper pumpkin kit, which is called Sunshine and Smiles, and it coordinates with the Playing in the Rain suite. So let's get started. Moving my whiteboard. I'm going to show you some of the things that we're going to be using, but this is the type of easel card we are making. Okay, really different. I did this years ago before I signed back up with Stampin' Up. From like 2003 to 2010, well, let's say maybe 2005 to 2010, I was an actual demonstrator. I found Stampin' Up! About 2003. 2010, my only brother, killed himself, and I packed all of my stamping stuff up. I couldn't deal with it. I had a hard time for 7 years. I tell people I spent 7 years in purgatory for that. I got out of that in May, actually, of 2007. 1 month and 1 day before my own mother was murdered. If you knew my mom, you knew why I'm okay with everything that happened to her. Not the physical being of it, but it was her brother, and he had a total mental break. She loved her brother. I forgive my uncle. I forgive all of it. But if you knew my mom, you know that she'd be running to that light. She always told us, don't worry, if something happens to me, there's no way anybody's putting me back in my body. And they didn't. She ran as fast as she could, never looked back. But she taught me a whole lot on how to handle grief. So let's get showing you what we're going to use. We are using the Country Bouquet bundle, which is the punch and the stamp set. We're using Happy Valentine's Day in this double heart, as I called it, and that is already done. You know, I'm going to bring back that limited edition and stamp on this card somewhere, Made with Love, just because it goes so well. I use the Alphabet a la mode dies, and I have to show you. This is how I have them. L, V, and E. I put a piece of washi tape across them. Same washi tape I've used for the last 3 or 4 cards. And just die cut that out of a bit of scrap. So I am actually going to stick these dies, before I lose these, back in, even on that piece of cardstock, because I'm not going to use that cardstock for anything else, and stick it back in my case. The ink colors I am using, Orchid Oasis, Whisper White, Sweet Sorbet. I have already used the Whisper White, and I'm going to show you, I have all my little bits and pieces. I've double done it because I wasn't sure what color combination I was going to go with, whether I have the Sweet Sorbet stamped on basic white, backed in Orchid Oasis, or the reverse of that, which is Sentiment stamped in Orchid Oasis and backed on Sweet Sorbet. I wasn't sure yet, and I'm not going to be sure until we get into the card. So, but I told you basic white. All I did was stamp that large heart from the Country Bouquet in basic white on a piece of sweet sorbet. I know I'm keeping this. This is a definite. So I've already done that, got that put up. We will do a little more stamping, but in a minute. So what are we going to need? You are going to need score tape. You are going to need dimensional strips, or however you make your shaker card. I am going to be using my dimensional strips. Let's get those out. And let's see. Oh, I used layering circle dies. I did not have this on my list sheet here, but let's go over it. So this is a 1 3/8 inch circle, the basic white, and I stamped what I call the deadbolt stamp onto basic white in 2 colors, Orchid Oasis and where's the other one? And in Sweet Sorbet. The keyhole then was reversed of those colors. I punched it out, and then I used this wee little layering circle scallop die, which the outer part of it is 1 and almost 3/4. The inner part measures 1 3/8. So I'm going to stick that back on its magnetic sheet. And we're going to look now at what you are going to need besides scrap cardstock. So I have a card base, which is 4 1/4 by 11. We are going to score it. I'm going to score it with you at 4 6 3/4 in a minute. We have our layering pieces. Our first layering piece is Orchid Oasis at 3 3/4 by 4. Our second layer is Sweet Sorbet, and that's 3 5/8 by 3 7/8. It is important that they are in those 8s because I wanted that tiny, tiny little border. Okay, I didn't want to make it this piece any smaller than that, because we're going to cut this. Is a card base from the kit. We are going to cut this to fit in there, and I just want a hint of a border. So next, what does it say? DSP layer, which is going to be my card base, and it says 1/2 of card base, the keyhole. That's this piece. We are going to cut to 3 3/8 by 3 5/8. In a minute we will. It says this is our shaker layer, this piece. The easel piece you are going to need is a 4 by 4 scored at 2. So we're using the January 2023 paper pumpkin stamps, the Country Bouquet bundle, the double hearts, and the Happy Valentine's Day, the alphabet a la mode dies, L, V, and E in Orchid Oasis and Sweet Sorbet. And then I did forget, should I write it down there? We had the 1 3/8 circle punch, and the one I'm going to put scallop circle die layering. I'll have to figure that out again later. So I'm going to set my little notebook aside, take a sip, and we're going to get started. First, we are going to score. I need to open my trimmer here. We are going to score our cardstock. Remember, our cardstock, our card base layer is 4 1/4 by 11. So turn it to one end, whichever end you want. We are going to score at 4. So if I can get it right on the 4. So scoring with the light blade, not the dark. The dark is the cutting blade. So that light blade is our scoring blade. And then we're going to scooch it on down to 6 3/4, which is right there. And that's all there is for the card base. So I'm not going to fold that yet. We are going to go ahead and cut our keyhole. which is, this would be my DSP layer. So that is 3. First of all, let's get it cut off of the card. So you've seen me cut my card bases up. We're going to keep that. Now I'm going to start cutting this. First, I'm going to cut to here because I want to get this as squared as possible. So I'm going to keep that layer. So it says 3 3/8. So I am going to, first I'm going to get it to, this is 4 1/4. Make sure it cut that little bit off. And this is how I do it, y'all. So I'm going to take it 1/4 of an inch on each end. Going to show you, see? So now I'm going to take another 1/4 of an inch off the opposite end. So it's at 4 here. We're going to take it to oh, that looks really good. So maybe I really like that. So maybe it won't be 3 5. 3 and what is this? This is, we'll have to see in a minute. So next we're going to chop 1/4 of an inch. It's at 4 1/2. So we're going to take it down to 4 1/4. I'm using my sheet to see how much more I'm going to need to cut down. About 1/4 of an inch on each end again. This just helps me to get it to where I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch to bring it to 4. And I know it needs to be cut down even more, but I'm going to take a look to see what I got going on. Okay, so do you see this? I want to try, so I'm going to take another 1/4 of an inch from this end. It's going to bring it to 3 1/4. And then I'm going to take off 1/8 of an inch off each end. So this is, let's see, 1 2 3 4. This is 5/8 right there. That's supposed to be where it is. And it needs to be more. So let's put it back in. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see how I'm cutting this up. I'm going to take, okay, that's 3 5/8. Now it's going to be at, we're going to take 1/16 of an inch off that way. And we're just looking to see about getting it to where we get that little, oh, almost there, almost where we want it. Let's see. Oh, no, we're going to keep it that way. So let me show you with the ruler the final measurement, because that is good. 3 3/4 by 1 2 3 4. 3 5/16. So we are going to change this. 3 5/16 by 3 1/4. That's our final measurement. So 3 5/16 by 3 3/4. Just so you can see, I knew that would be a little bit hairy trying to get it just where I wanted it. So now, are we going to fold our card base? No, we're going to work with our shaker part of this card. So I'm going to use a combination of both 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch strips. And I also forgot to do, how am I going to have a shaker card without my window sheet? It's just one of those things I kind of do. So I'm starting with my 1/4 inch tear tape. Just going to go around as best I can. And around, hold on, let me put that aside, around this edge, the smaller edge, I am just going to do small strips, making sure they meet of the 1/8 of an inch, because this is what's going to hold my window sheet, acetate, whatever you have that's clear that you can use to make a window. So I need to actually get mine out because I forgot to cut it. I just had those out yesterday. Where are they? Alrighty. No covering on it, just gonna grab a piece and go. So we had 3 3/4. I'm gonna take it down to 3 5/8, and then it says 3 5/16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16. I'm gonna come back and do it at 3 3/8, and that's my plastic window sheet, acetate, whatever you want to use to make your window. So now you're going to see it is shorter. It's just shy around the edges, and that's what I want. So I need my bone folder. I put it away. Not good. So I want to really go over my score tape. A lot of times I don't go over the score tape as well as some think I should, but hey, that's how I craft. But for this project, for a shaker card, you really should go over it well. And I'm going to put those down if they will stay there. Oh, by the way, I saw the plastic surgeon today. No surgery is necessary. They're doing injections in my scar, which should help in one way you could say it. It's going to eat up the extra scar tissue that has built up that is causing so much pain. So I'm really excited over that. And he actually did the first treatment today. He was so nice. He was like, yeah, he's like, where you live? And I'm like, way out in Belfair, across the bridge, through the woods. You know, it's almost like to grandmother's house. I go. And he's like, oh yeah, you don't need to come back. Let's just get the paperwork out of the way and get this started. I was like, yay. So here's my little strips. Now you will need to ensure, I have a pair of scissors that are made for cutting sticky substances. They're my white handled scissors. They're titanium blades. Butt your strips. See how that's butting up against it? You want those to be butted up against it so none of your shaker elements fall through the cracks. So I'm just making sure it's butted nicely. I'm going to put this one here. I'm just using up what I have. And I'm going to go all the way around the keyhole, cutting it segments because it's not going to go in a circle. So butting it up, making sure that there are no cracks for my good little shaker elements to come apart. There we go. We're going to need some more. As I sit here and do this, I'm like, why has it taken me ever to do shaker cards? To tell you the truth, just a plain square just kind of doesn't do anything for me. And so this, oh, this has been great. So I'm going to put that little piece right there that can go away for the moment. Now you can do several things inside. You could take a little, your little embossing buddy and go over it. I'm going to take my sleeve and just kind of rub on the inside. I don't always do that. I'm going to shake my little ooh, that's a lot of confetti in there, huh? You know what? We're going to go with it. It's going to have a lot of shake. I'm going to throw some of these in here. These are just little sequins. And some glitter. A couple of dabs. All right. Now I'm not going to take the backings yet off of it. Because we're going to do some stamping. Have to do one of two things. I still want my keyhole like so. I still want it there. I just do. And to show you how I'm going to keep it there, I'm going to get another piece. Let's see. Another piece of acetate like so. And I'm going to adhere this like so. So it's going to be doubly back. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my stamping on this piece. And I did give you the measurements of the acetate or window sheet. That's up to you. Looking for where I'm going to stamp. Come on. I lost my Stampin' Up! Pierce mat. Not sure where it is, but I have this piece of fun foam, which has got nice cushioning in it. I want to stamp I love you, and I'm going to choose to go ahead and do this. See, here's my deadbolt. This is where I'm not sure what I'm going to use. So do I want... Nope, we're going to go with the Sweet Sorbet. So we are going to stamp this then in Orchid Oasis. That's my color of choice. I am going to stamp I love you right there. Then I'm going to stamp some little hearts. I'm going to stick that out of the way. In, I don't need to close that up because we're going to need it again too. So let's see, where is, we have a key. We're going to stamp that. We're going to stamp it right below there. And then I'm going to need a bit of masking for these hearts. So let's see, we're going to cover up the I love you, and I think I just got my finger in the ink. So the I love you, well, we're going to need more than that. We're going to need a couple. All right. Use what you have on hand. We're just going to get that first row of hearts. That's going to work. Okay, I'm happy with that. I just wanted a little bit more on the bottom. There, yikes. And I'm going to set that ink pad aside too. And now we're going to glue this deadbolt in its place. And I want it really well and glued on there. I don't want it moving. I don't want stuff falling on it. And then now we're going to use, ooh, that's not in the center. I want to center that up. Ah, it's going to be so cool. So now we're going to take some tear tape, because this is going onto that acetate window sheet, whatever you want to call it. Large piece down the center. Couple, and I'm going to do a couple of little ones. I really want this secure, so pardon me for getting a little excessive. I'm going to stick a few more on the circle. I do not want this coming off, as you can tell. So I'm just kind of maybe going a little overboard, but I can. It's my project. Okay. Foam folder, rub over it real well. Handy dandy little pin to remove the tear tape. And then we're going to secure it onto the acetate, and then we will be able to glue that. What's going to be cool about this is when we put that onto its sweet sorbet counterpart, you're going to see a bit of that sweet sorbet in the background. I think you will anyways. We're going to see. Alrighty, so here is my there we have it. Now I'm going to shake that a bit, making it kind of flat. And now we're going to pull up our backings. There we go. Come on. That piece did not want to come away. Let's see if I used what little tiny bit of nails I've been cleaning. Tomorrow I'm going to go help a friend clean. Gotta be careful. The people who were working in her new apartment came down with COVID. So we're gonna go in with mask and Lysol and clean it up before she does her big move. So you can see that this is that window sheet. Now we are gonna line this up in our keyhole. All right, now what I'm gonna do is, just because it's me, this is gonna go on dimensional. So I'm gonna take this and cut around that excess because I wanna put my dimensionals onto the opposite piece. So let's get these off of my desktop here. And dimensionals. I don't need to go all around it with the strip, so we're just going to use these. And we will go ahead and use the sides. We're going to stick one right there. This piece right there. This little bit of one there. Get a little bit more surgery here. Go ahead and cut that out. 2, 3, and that is going to be really good. So remove these pieces, and we are going to put this on its sweet sorbet counterpart. And then glue our sweet sorbet onto our ochred oasis counterpart. Get those into the non-recyclable bin. Look at that. Uh-oh. Did I lose a piece? No, it must have been out. Okay, so we want the ever tiniest, and I have to lift this up, sorry, but I really want to get that border just so. So I have to pull it up to look at it. Ah, that is not the best positioning of that. But is it down too much? Yeah, okay, it's down. It's down, and I'm losing hearts. Hopefully that is not the case. I think I got some loose. So now we're going to glue this piece onto its colored card base of Orchid Oasis, its layer. Sometimes it works better just to dab the glue. I want lots on there. All right, now this will be easy enough. stepped really far out of my box with the color combination here. Oh, I want to almost take a pair of scissors and trim that because it's so not where I want it. Do I dare? I dare. I can't. I have to dare to pull this up. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's not gonna look. You're not gonna see that layer if I don't pull this up some. I'm not happy with it. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna stick liquid glue on the foam bits so they can go back down. And look at even that layer is not straight. So we're gonna straighten this puppy out. There, now that's straight. This is gonna need some help here. We don't want those bits coming out. Add some wet glue on the dimensional parts that I pulled up. And now we can stick it on there. I'm gonna stand up actually because this is such a tiny increment around my edge. And I want to see a little bit around all of it. Just ever so slightly. There we have it. Okay, now it's good. All better. All better. I can relax. Okay, now let's fold this card base. I'm going to show you my sample. So the large rectangle, because it's really not, you have this piece here that is the 4 1/4 by 4. You are going to fold that up and away from you if it is closest to your body. That means this piece here, you are going to pull down and fold it towards you. And that is the fold of this card. See? Kind of like a Z fold. It is a Z fold. You can see the Z. But this is the way this is going. So now, oh, so cool. Yes. In fact, I'm going to die. It should have gone this way. That's the way the ball bounces sometimes. What can I do? I'm going to leave it. I am okay with that. So, it just happens sometimes that way. It ain't going to take away from this card, not one little bit. Very cute, very different. I might try it again. But I only had one keyhole aspect of my card. I could put, oh, I can put some ribbon on here. We're going to do that. We're going to put a bow right across there, like I have on this card. What am I going to use? Not quite sure yet. I need a glue dot. That needs to be glued down. This little bit is popping up from the acetate. Let me grab a glue dot and fix it. I'm going to put it on my thumb, pop the back off, stick that on the, now it's not popping off no more. Okay. Sorry if this has taken way too long for some of you. So inside, you all know my hearts that we did. We have the love. I'm going to show you how this is going like so. And I was going to show you, maybe I should have already had this piece done, how I glued these pieces together. And my reverse tweezers went for a walkabout. Let's see. We're going to put that sweet sorbet on. And I'm using my little IV bottle. Now what I did is on my glass mat, way down here, which everything dries on this glass mat and I just wipe it off. So I'm just going to layer that up a bit, offsetting it ever so slightly. And there I have my letters. So our hearts that we did one. We punched it in Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to flip it over to offset this heart somewhat. So I'm going to add glue right here, not up on that side because I don't want it to show. And then I had a wee little heart in Petal Pink, which is this color. That one is going to go right here. And this is our substitute for our O. So we're going to start with the letter E. And I learned it is kind of better to have more glue on it than not. I'm going to put this right here. Then I'm going to do the L for placement issues. And then I can figure out where the heart and the V will be placed. So roughly the same distance from the outside. And then I can place my heart and my V. Ooh, love it. So we're going to start with the heart and then do the V. There's my heart. And now the V goes in its spot. Absolutely love it. This is going to be two. Am I choosing the right one? What did I? Oh, you can't even see it. I love you and all the keys. Let's see. The hidden message. We stamped it. I'm like, I needed to see what I stamped. I love you, and it means the sweet sorbet. So we're going to take to my Valentine, and we're going to put this up on dimensionals, and I'm just going to use these little bits at the end. This is going to go on the front of our card. Maybe it'll go, oh, across the center. Okay, and that's where it was, because I still want the little hidden I love you in the shaker card. This Happy Valentine's Day is going to go at the bottom. Love, and love is the key. That may not even go on the card, but I did it just because I could. So next, I need to see where to place Happy Valentine's Day, and that looks really good. So if you fold it down, we could put this up on dimensionals too. Let's do that. So 3 for this strip. Why not? We're going to make it perfect. And Happy Valentine's Day. Now don't forget, what makes an easel is this. On said easel is where we are going to stamp our Made with Love. And we're stamping it, keeping it with the theme of our card. Right like so. In the Orchid Oasis. On this side here, you can do glue, you can do tear tape. I am going to choose to use tear tape to secure it to my card. Three strips because I don't want it coming undone for any reason. Little snip there. Phone folder. Needle, please. Like doing surgery. All the required tools to make a card great. So there you have it. If you unfold this, right here is going to be your crease. I am going to open it up like so and slide that right on top of that. And that is what makes the easel. Do you see that? Ta-da! It's easy. So it folds flat, pops up. Happy Valentine's Day. You have all of this here to write a message. You can do some more layers in there. It's up to you, but I really, really like it. And I'm thinking, do I really want... I kind of did, but I don't have any ribbon that goes with this at all. Okay, what can I do for... I just want a little something down there. I don't have any sweet sorbet or any of those colors, and that white just isn't going to cut it. And I'm not going to sit here and dye it. So we're going to go without it. It's going to be just fine the way it is. Or. Nope. Nope, because that's petal pink. Where is my white? Let's see. I have some white twine that if I dyed it Orchid Oasis, that would be great. But we're not going to. But we're going to add some embellishments because we can. It needs some right there. It needs some bling. What do we have that we like to use? I really think these iridescent little pearls would be kind of pretty on here. Ooh, no. We're going to add sparkle. We're going to use the iridescent rhinestones. They have a little bit more color in them, and they sparkle so pretty. So I'm going to add one here. I mean, we're going to deck the card out. There, we're going to add one on all of these little white dots around our keyhole. Ooh, and down below, don't forget those two. That is really, we don't need the ribbon. This is going to do it just fine. Oh my gosh, that is so cool looking. Okay, and then we want to draw your attention. We're going to do two great big ones on each side of the Happy Valentine's Day. I'm not going to worry about those ones, but that is my card. I want to show you. It does fit in a standard envelope, like so. I'm not going to worry about the envelope either because I know this video is a bit long. But there is my easel shaker card. Oh, so cool. So I hope you liked it. Ta-da! I think it's awesome. Really like that and love that it folds flat. Give it a try. I hope you do, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Maybe give you some ideas to think outside the box. And like me, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone with colors. As many of you know, the in colors for this last year have not been my favorite, but I'm working with it. So I hope you come back and visit me in my wonderland, y'all, and have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.